Somewhere right now, someone is building their AI agency. They have watched the YouTube tutorials, they have the tools, they have their first client lined up. They are convinced they are riding the biggest wave in business history. They are right about the wave. They are wrong about their position on it. 90% of AI agencies will not survive past Q4 2026. That is not speculation. That is the emerging verdict from the most authoritative research organizations tracking this market. Rand Corporation analyzed over 2,400 enterprise AI initiatives and found that 80.3% failed to deliver their intended business value. Gartner confirmed it in April 2026. Only 28% of AI infrastructure projects delivered their promised return. 1 in 5 failed entirely. And here's the number that should stop every AI agency owner cold. 42% of companies abandon at least one AI initiative in 2025, up from 17% the prior year. The abandonment rate more than doubled in 12 months. The market is not growing the way the YouTube gurus told you it would. It is sorting fast. And the sort is not happening along the lines of who has the best tools or the most technical knowledge. It is happening along a line most people never see coming, until it is too late. This briefing is about that line. And more importantly, which side of it the architect positions themselves on. Before we declassify the failure pattern, let us understand exactly what is happening in the AI agency market right now. Between 2023 and 2025, hundreds of thousands of people launched AI agencies. The pitch was compelling and the barrier to entry was almost zero. Learn a few tools, build a few automations, charge businesses a monthly retainer to manage their AI stack. The market responded with genuine demand. Businesses needed help. The first wave of AI agency owners rode that demand to real revenue. But something changed in late 2025. The tools got easier. Platforms that required a skilled operator in 2023 became drag-and-drop interfaces in 2025. The technical moat that early AI agencies were charging for evaporated almost overnight. Simultaneously, the market got crowded. According to emerging trends documented by Weasley's 2026 agency analysis, a staggering 90% of AI agencies may not survive past 2026. And the root cause is not technical failure. It is strategic misidentification. They built a technician business in a market that is now rewarding strategist businesses. Those are two completely different games. And if you do not know which one you are playing the wrong one. Failure Mode 1. Selling deliverables in a market that is buying outcomes. This is the most common and most fatal mistake in the AI agency space right now. A deliverable is a thing you produce. An automation, a workflow, a chatbot, a content calendar. An outcome is a business result the client experiences. More leads converted, fewer hours lost to admin, faster client onboarding, higher revenue per employee. In 2023 and 2024, businesses were buying deliverables. They wanted to see AI doing something. The demonstration of capability was enough to justify the invoice. That era is over. In 2026, businesses have seen the deliverables. They have watched the demos. They have been through the proof of concept stage. And according to S&P Global Market Intelligence's 2025 survey, the average organization scrapped 46% of AI proof of concepts before reaching production. They are not scrapping them because AI does not work. They are scrapping them because the agency that built the deliverable could not connect it to a measurable business outcome. The architect understands this distinction at a structural level. You are not selling automation. You are selling time recovered, revenue protected, errors eliminated. The moment you reframe your offer around the outcome rather than the deliverable, your pricing, your positioning, and your client retention all change simultaneously. The first move: audit every service you currently offer and rewrite each one as an outcome statement. Not, I build AI automation systems. I recover 10 to 20 hours per week for service businesses, guaranteed, or you do not pay. Same service, completely different market position. Failure mode 2, building on rented infrastructure. This is the silent killer that most AI agency owners will not see coming until it destroys them. Every agency built on top of a single platform, whether that is Make.com, Zapier, OpenAI's API, or any other vendor, is structurally exposed to a risk that no amount of client work can protect against. Platform pricing changes. API access policies shift. A vendor gets acquired. A competitor releases a free version of the tool your entire business is built on. Any one of these events can eliminate your margin overnight. Gartner's April 2026 report identified integration dependency as one of the 3 primary failure patterns in AI projects. Organizations that build point-to-point integrations between a single platform and client systems are incurring what Gartner calls architectural debt, and that debt compounds until the system collapses. The architect builds differently, not tool first, strategy first. The sovereign position in the AI agency space is not being the best Make.com operator or the fastest N8N builder. It is being the person who can enter any business, diagnose its highest cost operational inefficiencies, and architect a solution that is platform agnostic. One that could be rebuilt on a different stack in 48 hours if the vendor landscape changes. That is not a technical skill. That is a strategic intelligence skill. And it is the skill that separates the 10% who survive from the 90% who do not. Failure mode 3, competing on price in a commoditizing market. When hundreds of thousands of people can deliver the same automation using the same no-code tools, price becomes the only differentiator for those who have not built a genuine strategic position. And price competition in a commoditizing market has one inevitable destination: the bottom. The data from May 2026 agency acquisition activity is particularly revealing. 8 of 12 documented AI agency acquisitions involved an agentic native acquirer absorbing a traditional digital agency. The acquisition multiples? 0.7 to 1.1 times revenue. Less than 1 year's revenue. For a business the owner spent years building. Those are distress valuations. And they are concentrated in exactly the agencies that competed on technical delivery without building a strategic moat. The agencies commanding premium valuations and premium client retainers share one characteristic. They own a specific outcome in a specific vertical for a specific client type. Not we do AI automation. We recover lost revenue for e-commerce brands between $1 and $10 million in annual revenue by automating their post-purchase customer journey. That specificity is not a limitation. It is a fortress. The narrower your stated outcome, the harder you are to compete with. Because you are no longer selling a service. You are selling a system with a documented track record of delivering a specific result for a specific type of business. No one can undercut that with a lower hourly rate. Failure mode 4, building a job, not a system. This is the one that the YouTube gurus never mention, because it requires an uncomfortable conversation about what kind of business you are actually building. Most AI agency owners are not building businesses. They are building jobs with client dependency instead of employer dependency. The revenue stops when they stop working. The deliverables require their direct involvement. The client relationship lives in their personal email. Gartner found that 60% of AI projects unsupported by AI-ready data will be abandoned through 2026. The same principle applies to agencies unsupported by systematized delivery. When the operator is the system, the business is as fragile as the operator. The architect builds the inverse. Every client engagement is documented. Every workflow is systematized. Every deliverable is produced by a process, not a person. This is not theory. It is the difference between an agency that sells for 3 to 5 times revenue and one that sells for 0.7 times revenue. It is the difference between an asset and a job. The 30-day laptop test tells you everything you need to know about which one you have built. If you deleted yourself from your business's workflow for 30 days, would it survive? If the answer is no, you do not own a business. You own a dependency. And in 2026, dependencies get abandoned. Systems get acquired. The sovereign alternative. Everything we have covered in this briefing points to the same conclusion. The AI agency model, as it is currently being sold and built by the majority of entrants, is structurally fragile. Not because the technology does not work, because the business model is not built for the market that 2026 is delivering. But here is the intelligence most people miss in this conversation. The failure of 90% of AI agencies is not a signal to exit the market. It is a signal to reposition within it. The demand for AI-powered business transformation is not shrinking. It is accelerating. McKinsey's 2025 analysis found that organizations which redesigned end-to-end workflows before selecting AI technology were 2 times more likely to report significant financial returns. The demand exists. The execution capability in the market is failing to meet it. That gap is your sovereign position. Not an AI agency that sells tools and automations, a sovereign architect who sells outcomes, builds systems, and owns a specific vertical with documented results. The distinction sounds subtle. The financial difference is not. The agencies competing on tools are racing to the bottom. The architects who own specific outcomes in specific verticals are building assets that compound in value every month. One coordinate, one vertical, one documented outcome, executed with precision for 90 days. That is not an agency. That is a sovereign income node, and it cannot be commoditized. Drop a comment below. Tell me which failure mode you see most commonly in the AI agency space. 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if this briefing gave you the intelligence to reposition before the Q4 2026 culling begins, subscribe. Every week on this channel, we declassify the patterns that separate the architects who build from the operators who grind. Share this transmission with one person building an AI agency who needs to hear this before it is too late for them to change course. The wrong game is ending. The right game is still wide open. Subscribe. Deploy your coordinate. Transmission concluded.